Last month, I showcased some Pocket PC applications, media players, web browsers, instant messengers, IRC clients, things of the such, but maybe you want to do something a little bit leaning more towards network analysis and scanning. So in this segment, I'm going to show you some really useful Pocket PC networking applications. Here we have the Pocket PC plugged into my flat panel. Again, I'm running in landscape mode, so some of these applications might not line up appropriately. I have to run in landscape mode, otherwise this isn't going to line up properly on my flat panel. Also remember that I am running in mirror mode, so the CPU on my Pocket PC is being really drained badly, so some of these applications might not run 100%. Let's begin. Of course, you know, if you have a Pocket PC that has Wi-Fi, the first thing you're going to want to do is scan for Wi-Fi. And with that is Wi-Fi FOFUM 2.0. I really like Wi-Fi FOFUM 2.0. It actually works a lot better than MiniStumbler. It is more compatible than MiniStumbler. It's more reliable than MiniStumbler. And the only downfall to this is that it requires .NET CE 2.0. Which means you gotta go and download the .NET CE framework and install it on your Pocket PC, which tends to eat up a bit of space. But nonetheless, you know, it works just as good as NetStumbler, or if you're familiar with Kismet. When you first get it, you have to go to your device and make sure you select your appropriate Wi-Fi card. Otherwise, you're not going to get any results, of course. This can actually spit out a report in NetStumbler format. It can spit out in XML format. It can spit out in plain text format. Nonetheless, it's very compatible and very useful. There's also something called Pocket Warrior, which I'm not going to showcase because, in my opinion, it just doesn't work as good as Wi-Fi FOFUM. I haven't seen a Pocket PC that Wi-Fi FOFUM cannot be run on. MiniStumbler will not run on my Pocket PC, so I can't showcase that to you. Once you're actually connected to a network, you're going to want to do some scanning. You're going to want to go poke around. And for that, we have VX Utilities. VX Utilities has a whole bunch of fun things. You know, it's got something like ipconfig, where you can go and get your IP address of the connected network. You can get your wireless adapter name, your IP address, subnet mask, you know, all that fun stuff. It also has a ping, so you can actually see if hosts are online. It has a ping sweep, which you can use to determine if multiple hosts are online. If anyone's running a decent firewall, it's not going to work out too good. It has traceroute, always useful. It has a port scanner. You know, pretty much it works, but if anyone's running a firewall, again, it's not going to work out too good. It has a DNS auditing utility, which is always useful whenever you're on a network. It has Wake on LAN, which, to tell you the truth, I really haven't gotten a chance to use this, so I can't tell you if it works too good. There's a Finger client. Hopefully, if you're unfamiliar with all these terms, you're on Google right now searching them. But not that anyone uses Finger anymore. It has GetHTML, which is always good for getting HTML info of web servers and web hosts. It has a hostname lookup, always useful when you're across a Windows network with shares. Quote of the day. Not that anyone uses it unless you're on a Unix machine or a Linux machine, but this is my way of figuring out if someone is actually on a Unix or a Linux machine. It's got time service, not very useful for me since my Pocket PC usually keeps pretty accurate time, or to find out if someone's running a time server on their network. It's got general WHOIS information, which is always very, very, very useful. Password generator, I really don't have to say anything about that. It just generates, you know, like random passwords for whatever stuff you want to put passwords on. And an IP subnet calculator, which is actually very useful if you want to go and figure out what kind of subnet someone's on, so you can actually scan them a little bit more accurately. All in all, these are all pretty much basic applications that'll be bundled with your standard Windows operating system or your Unix, BSD, or Linux operating system that whatever Pocket PC you have is probably going to be lacking. Next is the VX Simple Network Management Protocol client. I don't have SNMP on my network, so I can't showcase this to you, but if you're familiar with SNMP, then you'll probably want to get this. If you're not, forget about it. Forget I ever mentioned it. And then we have VX Sniffer. VX Sniffer is really great. Unfortunately, as you can see by the registration, it costs $60. I have not found another network sniffer for Pocket PC. If you're going to go and buy this, also invest in a decent-sized storage card, because it's a network scan, it will eat up a lot of space. Of course, you have to go in, just as before, into the properties and make sure you have your appropriate network adapter selected. You can actually sniff across pretty much anything. Hell, I can even sniff the infrared and Bluetooth. So this does have a lot of potentials. Ethereal, whatever you call it, which is now called Wireshark either way. I don't know why I'm arguing with a camera about this. Either way, this is not Wireshark. I do not know if this can actually capture IV packets for web cracking. I've never tried. I don't care. Don't ask. All in all, it's the only packet sniffer I've actually found for Pocket PC, so if you really got a hard-on for a packet sniffer in your pocket, this is the one to buy. Believe it or not, Resco File Explorer has an interesting little feature in this. I've actually explained this in the previous episode, but it has the ability to scan a network for shares and map them to your Pocket PC. So if you got Resco File Explorer, great. There's also a plugin for Resco File Explorer called Resco FTP, which I don't want to get into the specifics right now. But it's an FTP client for your Pocket PC. So if you're going to go with a Resco File Explorer, you've already got a Windows network scanner right built in. The next thing I want to showcase is something called Pocket LAN. Pocket LAN is a pretty useful application. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's not free. You got to pay, I do believe, $15 for it. Once it loads, I can show you what it does. It can actually scan network shares. It can scan IP ranges. It can scan. It can do ping sweeps. It can do traceroute. Tell you the truth, for $15, it does it pretty good, but it's a little bit unreliable. The only strong point that I like about this is the fact that it actually outputs stuff to an HTML file. Other applications that are payware won't output towards any kind of file whatsoever, so keep your pen and paper ready. The next thing I wanted to show you is vMobile Network Browser. This is actually a really good application. It'll scan your network for shares, and it'll do some rudimentary pinging and traceroute and all that fun jazz. Here we go on my network. There's one of my computers. Yay! Well, this is as far as I'm going to go with that, because pretty much it does the same thing as Pocket LAN, but that one just has an easier interface, and I think it's a little bit more reliable. Unfortunately, I think it's $17 to $20 for a registration code. Next on our list is an application that shows promise, Kane. We all know Kane. We've showcased it on earlier episodes of the show. Right now, it does not do ARP poison attacks, so I hope I didn't give you a Woody thinking that you could from your Pocket PC. Mainly what it sports is a lot of hashing decoders and a lot of local password decoders. And it allows you to decode saved passwords on the Pocket PC itself. So this goes to show, if you find a Pocket PC that belongs to someone and you need to go and get into their records and email and Outlook so you can harvest information to find them, so you can be a good Samaritan and give their Pocket PC back, not do identity theft and other illegal activities, this would be the program to do it. Like I said, Kane is showing a lot of promise. It's still in early versions, so unless you're doing password decoding and password cracking, which, to tell you the truth, I could care less for, this would be the program to do it with. Next on our list is, once Resco File Explorer loads up so I can point to my documents, is Pocket Putty. If anyone's familiar with Secure Shell and the PuTTY or P-U-T-T-Y terminal, here it is for Pocket PC. It's a little bit on the clumsy side because you got to hunt and peck with, a stylus on an on-screen keyboard, but nonetheless, if you need Secure Shell in your pocket, Pocket Putty. All the way, baby. There's also Netcat. Not going to really get into Netcat because Netcat, or the what people call the network Swiss Army knife, can do a whole lot of stuff. So if you're familiar with Netcat, you got the power of Netcat in your pocket. Of course, no networking admin would be anywhere without some kind of web browser. My browser of choice, of course, is Opera. There's also Pocket Internet Explorer, or also known as Pi, P-I-E, and Minimo, or Mini Mozilla. Minimo is still in beta. Things don't line up properly, and things aren't working 100%, but it's free. Opera is not payware. It is payware. I don't know how much it costs, but it works. It works well. Right now I endorse Opera until Minimo comes out. Completely forget about Pocket Internet Explorer, because if you're doing like HTTP config pages like routers, a personal example I like is I can use Opera and Minimo to log into a VLC control panel over HTTP on my home network via Wi-Fi to control my VLC. You can't do that using Pocket Internet Explorer. You can only do that using Minimo and Opera. There's also built into Windows Mobile 5. I'm not sure if it's on Pocket PC 2002 and 2003, but Terminal Services Client. I'm just going to go ahead and connect to the one I got running at my house, and there it is, Terminal Services. What's really great about this is it's Terminal Services in your pocket. What sucks about it is it's small. I mean, it's really hard to read the screen, and hunting and pecking on an on-screen keyboard is kind of clumsy, but if you need some kind of terminal services or remote desktop, it usually comes built in with the Windows Mobile 5. There's also VNC for Pocket PC, which I'm frantically trying to hunt down. I hope I actually installed it. But there are two VNC clients for Pocket PC. And I don't think I got them installed, but it's the same as terminal services. I mean, if you're familiar with VNC, then there you go. IP address, password, remote desktop into the machine. Having a Pocket PC with a 320 by 240 or 640 by 480 display, while your remote display is like 1024, 768 or higher, it is a real pain in the ass. But if you need VNC in your pocket, go to the show notes. I'll put the links to the two VNC clients that I recommend. They're actually just called VNC Client for Pocket PC. I don't think they actually have a real name. So this is just a roundup of some of the Pocket PC networking applications that I've got on my Pocket PC that I use in the field personally. Whenever I'm scanning for Wi-Fi and I'm actually scanning for networks and doing some fun stuff out in the field. Alright, that's the end. Go away.